if you're not prepared to do something yourself, don't ask anybody else to do it. I think it's as simple as that. I will come into a kiosk, I will wash jugs, I'll mop the floor, I'll take the rubbish out. I don't think in this day and age, it's 2024, you can just sit there and bark orders. I think you need to be prepared to, lead by example. I think businesses or organisations that work on a hierarchy, I think that's just outdated these days. I think if we play on a level playing field, it's a sign of success. You need to look in the mirror every single day and take ownership of what's going on. If you don't admit to it, I'm not sure how you learn and you can develop and you can move on. And sometimes making a mistake is just acknowledging the fact that you've made a mistake and, putting it out there just to make sure it just doesn't happen again. But I think you need to be your biggest critic. And when you can acknowledge the good, the bad, the ugly, it will make your life a lot easier. Hey guys, it's Wally Ibrahim from Planet Smoothie. Nice to be here today. I'm the CEO or the master franchisee of Planet Smoothie. Planet Smoothie is the third largest smoothie company in America, and we've got the rights for Australia and New Zealand. So that's who I am. A little bit about Planet Smoothie. Planet Smoothie, we're a health-based smoothie company. We're a little bit different to some of the smoothie companies out here in Australia at the moment. So we have smoothies that are very good for you. We've got some smoothies that aren't so good for you with Oreo cookies, but we do have a vast variety of smoothies. Yeah, I think I got my parents to blame me for wanting to be in small business, I can tell you that. So my parents owned milk bars. So from a very young age, I remember standing on milk crates and serving customers behind the counter. So pretty much from the age of about 8 through to probably 15, 16, we didn't go on holidays, we didn't go out for fun. We stood on a milk crate and served customers in a milk bar. So that part of me has been inbred, and from a very young age, I actually enjoyed it. I loved seeing sort of my parents take over businesses and build them up. And unfortunately over time, milk bars eventually disappeared. So I saw the amazing, but I saw the ugly as well. But I think it instilled a drive in me to want to do my own thing. Yeah. It's a little bit different. I've worked both in the corporate world and in the small business world. It's a little bit different when you're making decisions for yourself versus somebody else. I always wanted to be the best at what I was doing. To have the privilege of being my own boss, I think is a massive bonus. When you've got the end responsibility, it's a little bit different when you've got somebody above you. I don't believe in hierarchies. I honestly don't. I think a good, doesn't matter in the corporate world or in the private world, I think if you work as a team, the results will come. Okay, it was a few years ago now, but vivid memories for me. I was working for Coles, the Coles Group in the late 90s, was remodeling some of their stores, was a duty manager in the supermarkets. It was okay, but it wasn't my future. And I remember I applied for a job as a store manager in a Telstra store. And I got the role, but the store never opened. And I ended up finding myself technically unemployed because I had told my boss at Coles at the time I was ready to move on. So anyway, long story short, I ended up becoming an assistant manager of a Telstra store and just loved it. It was different. Back then, internet was new, mobile phones were new. I'm showing my age now, but I just loved that industry. So I went from assistant manager to store manager to regional manager to state manager, and many different roles within Telstra, and got to a point that I saw a lot of independent Telstra owners being quite successful at what they did, but not necessarily maybe as driven as I would have been. So I found the money to get into the program and got into the program at a young age and just absolutely loved it. Telco's a really interesting industry. It's forever changing. I think, there's essentials in life, having a roof over your head, having food in your stomach, and, as humans, communication is a big thing. So to be able to do that for such a long period of time and help people, get people connected, and yeah, it's pretty rewarding. And I know you asked me earlier offline, do I miss the telco industry? I actually do. Telstra is an amazing organisation and a big part of my life. I think successful people solve issues or problems. So I was never scared of a customer complaint, or, you know, if there was an irate customer, you know, I'd thrive on, you know, a customer being angry in the store, regardless if it was our fault or somebody else's fault, because the opportunity to be able to turn that customer around, they become an advocate of you and your business. And yeah, that was really important for me. So I think if we can solve problems for people, you usually 9 out of 10 times you'll be quite successful with what you do. Multi-site isn't easy, and it's not for everyone. And, you know, we made lots of mistakes in the early days, but then to be able to grow and expand in such a short period of time, you know, towards the end there, we had about 5 stores and 3 kiosks just here in Victoria. And it was always really rewarding for me that I knew that I was helping people, you know, pay off a mortgage or pay off a car loan, or, you know, even pay the rent or put food on their table. Because we had about 80 odd people working for our group when we wound up that part of our life. But yeah, I think the reward for me was just having so many good people work. We were called the We Connect group under that one umbrella, and a lot of those people are still friends today. A lot of people, you know, got into relationships, have had kids, you know, have been best mans or godfathers, and yeah, you see some of that, especially on social media. I see a lot of that stuff, and I think to myself, you know, it's the We Connect group that brought all these people together, and, you know, a lot of them are flourishing, and a lot of people have moved on to completely different industries and doing an amazing job. So yeah, definitely a proud moment. Challenging is probably not strong enough of a word for what I was going through at the time. I absolutely love Telstra, and as I said, it's a big part of me. It's part of my DNA. So it took me a good couple of weeks to sort of come to terms with sort of, you know, the reality of what was going on. But when I did, I realised that, you know what, life goes on, and I have a saying that bad things happen to good people, and I'd like to think I'm a good person. So unfortunately, it was just something bad that happened in my life. And how I was going to address that, you know, I always say sun comes up in the morning. Guess what? The sun came up the next morning. So we put some plans into place in regards to what it was going to look like for us. And I think once I'd made that decision and sort of accepted sort of what the reality was, then, you know, things started to open up for me. And then before I knew it, I found Planet, and, you know, the rest is history for us. But, you know, there's no regrets. It's, you dealt cards, you deal with them as best as you can, and you move on. If it wasn't Planet Smoothie, it might be this coffee shop. I think the reward for me, if you've got the right mindset, you should be able to apply that in any field, any industry, right? I'm driven by having good people work for us. I'm driven by making people, you know, hopefully making people's day better every day for them. So I don't care what the product or service is. I think it's important to jump out of bed in the morning. So the fact that, you know, Planet Smoothie, I'm a type 1 diabetic and we don't use sugar, that makes me jump out of bed in the morning, because we're serving healthy smoothies to people. So there's an element of that. But at the end of the day, I think if you're driven, if your mindset's the right way, it doesn't matter what it is, you'll do a good job at it. Okay, so why Planet Smoothie? I initially didn't start off with Planet Smoothie. So my parent company, Kahala Brands in the US, I'd come across a brand called Baja Fresh, which is Mexican food. It's really good Mexican food. So if you're ever traveling to the States, look up Baja Fresh. No can openers, no microwaves, just really good Mexican food. And I love Mexican, absolutely love Mexican food. So I was like, you know what, we need this here in Australia. As I was building my business plan, you know, we were talking about negatives before, as I was building my business plan and I was looking at the competitors, I realized really quickly that there's a lot of people that do Mexican, and some of them do it really, really well in Australia. I was like, who am I to be bringing another Mexican brand in, trying to compete with all these Mexican companies? It just wouldn't work. And I know what I'm like as a person, and food is a little bit different to beverage. You know, you've got a bit of cooking, you've got chefs involved, front of house, back of house, there's a bit more work to it. So I knew my limitations and I thought, you know, I can't do this. So when I approached Kahala Brands, my parent company, I said, listen, I don't think I can do Baja Fresh. I came across this brand called Planet Smoothie and it stood out for me. First of all, it was pink, but I loved it. And when I looked into it, Planet Smoothie is such an interesting brand. You know, it's been around since 1995. Had a few different owners over that period, but you know, everyone's done an amazing job to get it get it to where it is today. The fact that, as I said, I'm a type 1 diabetic, we don't use sugar, we use stevia. The only real product that we have that has a layer of sugar on it is strawberries, because strawberries without any type of sugar is a bit tart. But yeah, we don't use sugar at all in any of our smoothies. We have a dedicated kids menu, so not just a kid's size, we actually have, you know, we've got a smoothie that's literally strawberry ice and water. So as a parent, and I've got an 11 and 7-year-old, it's really important for me that I'm making sure that my, you know, kids get healthy smoothies in them. You know, we have different things, like we've got peanut butter. Not many people in Australia do peanut butter. We've got a whole process. We have separate red jugs and red lids, and you know, we approach it very differently because, you know, get that wrong and it's not good. But you know, we've got some customers that come twice a day for a peanut butter smoothie. So if you like peanut butter and never tried it in a smoothie, I'd give that a go because it's amazing. But you know, there's just little different things. You can pretty much make up your own smoothie at Planet Smoothie. You can change any ingredient for free. You can add ingredients to your smoothie. You can alternate, you know, add almond milk instead of powdered milk, whatever you want. We've got 11 different vegan options. We've got different proteins. So, you know, collagen is a really good protein that's out there at the moment. All of our smoothies are in lifestyle categories. So if you want weight loss or if you want a meal replacement. So we're different and we cater for everyone. It's funny, everyone says to me, you know, surely your target market's this. And I go, no, it's not. We've got 1 and 2-year-old kids that come and get smoothies from us, and we've got elderly people that, you know, come and get smoothies from us. You know, multivitamin is a big protein that we sell, and we do really well with that. So I think for us, I've got an offering that every person in Australia could benefit from. Now, if they like it or not, we'll wait and see, but we do a lot of sampling in our business as well because we want to make sure that as many people can sample our smoothies and get to try them. So I love my brand, and I think if you really love your brand, it will drive you to get up in the morning and want to push that daily. If you're really passionate about what you do and you really, really love it, your staff are going to see that. And your staff usually mimic your behaviour, and then hopefully they'll instill that into their customers as well. One of my favourite things ever is walking through a shopping centre that we've got and just seeing a customer walk around the shopping centre holding one of our cups. It's a pretty proud moment. Now, obviously as a new business, that's not happening a lot, but every day that's increasing. And you know, yesterday actually, it was Sunday, I saw a family of 5 people and they were all holding a Planet Smoothie cup, and they were laughing and they were pretty happy. And I sat there going, you know, it's pretty special to see that. So I'm that passionate that, you know, I'll finish my smoothie, and even if I'm still walking through the shopping centre for an hour, I'll still be holding the cup because it's a bit of marketing for me, right? It's a proud moment. So that's what keeps me going throughout the day. I think customer service is, you know, it's probably the most critical thing. Let's be honest, my 7-year-old, Sophie, she could make a smoothie. She could make a really, really good smoothie. What she might lack is the customer service element. If I put her into the kiosk, she might be able to say hello, but she might not do the full customer service experience. For us at Planet Smoothie, it's really critical. We want to welcome every customer the same way. So I'm hoping that every customer gets welcome to the Planet. And if it's a customer we know, hey Wally, good to see you, would you like your regular smoothie? So there has to be that level of interaction. And at the end of it as well, we like to make sure that the customers are happy with their smoothie. So we usually ask if they want to taste their smoothie, because if a customer's not happy, we'll replace it for free. You know, we want to make sure that everyone leaves happy, because you're spending, you know, between $6 and say $9 on a smoothie. You know, it's a bit more than a cup of coffee. We just want to make sure that the customer is really happy. But for that to happen, if there's no level of customer service, then we're going to have a problem. What I am really proud of is our Google reviews. Like most businesses, they're always not going to be perfect, but the customers that are happy, the comments that they put are just absolutely amazing. And every day we get a Google review that says, I've gone for the service because this person serves me with a smile, or, asked me what was in my shopping bag, or gave my child a colouring in sheet. All of these things, I think if we can just be really good at that, I think that will help us long term. I'm surprised how many businesses I go in today that won't even look at you. Sometimes we might go down to one staff member if a staff member's on a break, and I'll just say to the staff, just acknowledge the customer and say to them, we'll be with you in a minute. That acknowledgement, that's the key to good customer service, right? Even if a customer has to wait a minute or two, I think if they feel like they've been recognised or they feel important, they'll happily wait. What I hate seeing is that, when you get no acknowledgement, or, you feel like you're interrupting somebody's time, that's not really a good experience. That's one of the hardest things to do. As a new business, we're not busy all the time. That's the reality of it, and it can get boring. But it's just recognising it, being open about things that are not as good as they should be. When we're quiet, we want to make sure that we've got a clean kiosk. So we spend a lot of time cleaning, but that's times where you can use training. For us, marketing is a big thing, so it's time to potentially do some marketing. But it is a challenge. It is because when things are tough or things are quiet, it's hard to keep motivated. And even as a business owner myself, sometimes it's really, really hard to stay in that positive mindset. What I do though is I don't hold on to it for too long. Yeah, I always say to my staff, when you hold on to something that's heavy, it just continues to get heavier and heavier and heavier, and it's got to drag you down. Hold on to it for like a minute, let it go, or lighten up, and then move on. Because if you don't, it could drag you down really, really quickly. Because I go back to my saying right at the start, unfortunately, sometimes bad things happen to good people. I think when you know that and you recognise that and you just accept that, then you can just move on a lot quicker. Just do it. Nike's got the best saying ever, just do it. If you want to do something, just do it. Because you might wait 5 or 10 years and then go, I'll start it now. And you'll probably go, I should have done it 10 years ago. And the amount of times people say to me, Wally, I should have done this 5 years ago. I should have done this 10 years ago. I should have done this 15 years ago. If you really want something, we're on this planet for such a short period of time, just do it. Because what's the worst thing that happens? You fail, so what? Move on. Some of the most successful people in the world have failed so many times over and then just got up and done it again. So, I can tell you right now, Planet's not easy and it's a challenge, and we're, starting a whole new brand and we're starting from scratch. But if you love what you do, you just need to do it. Secret to making a good smoothie is just to have a bit of fun. It's just to have a bit of fun. I know in our business, we use real fruit. And I had somebody that worked at a competitor's business frequent one of our locations recently, and they were telling me that when they were doing training at this business, they had to count out the amount of blueberries that they put in a particular smoothie. And it was somewhere, but I still can't believe this, but it was somewhere between 3 to 5 blueberries. And they were like, your small smoothie had something like 35 blueberries in it, and the bigger one had 50 plus. And they're like, but I've come from an environment where I had to count out the blueberries. Now, some people might go, well, that other business is doing the right thing from a cost point of view. I'm like, we need to serve good, healthy, fresh fruit smoothies to customers. And I think everything else will follow. So my mission is to make sure that every customer gets something that they like, that's not going to be too bad for them, yeah? And hopefully that just gives us repeat business. So I think the trick is everything's fresh, everything's healthy, made with a bit of fun, made with a bit of love, with the right level of customer service. I think you can't go wrong.